course, this comes as Donald Trump has claimed he got London Mayor Sadiq Khan banned from attending the state's banquet in Windsor on Wednesday evening. He gave this exclusive answer to GB News' very own Late Show live host Bev Turner on Air Force One.
Events in England, a state visit, spectacular.
Right.
And yet the Mayor of London can't be there.
I didn't want him there. I asked that he not be there. I don't want them. I think the Mayor of London, Khan, is among the worst mayors in the world. And we have some bad ones. If you look at Chicago, but I think he's the equivalent of the Mayor of Chicago. I think he's done a terrible job. Crime in London is through the roof. The Mayor of London, Mayor Khan, has done a terrible job. And on immigration, he's a disaster. Now, I asked that he not be there. He wanted to be there, as I understand. I didn't want him. I've not liked him for a long time. I just think, I have a certain pride in London and UK. My mother was born in Scotland, as you know. And when I see Mayor Khan do a bad job, the stabbings and the dirt and the filth, it's not the same. No, I didn't want him there.
Well, I'm delighted to now joined live from Washington, D.C. by GB News' presenter, the big, beautiful star, Bev Turner. Bev, welcome to the show. First of all, can I commend you on, I think, stealing the show. Yesterday, Donald Trump could have chosen anybody in the entire world to go to first for a question. He chose you. How did that feel?
It felt, frankly, a little terrifying at the moment. In the moment, Martin, I can't lie. That press conference environment was so intense yesterday. It was in Chequers. We're in a wood-panelled room. You've got this enormous fireplace. There's two lecterns, two world leaders. They're ready to talk to the press. But it was very much on Sir Keir Starmer's terms. When I met these two previously, if you remember, that was in Scotland. And that was in Donald Trump's golf course. And it was a very different power dynamic. Yesterday, Starmer's team were in charge. And they wanted to keep that press conference under their control. In fact, the Trump team said it reminded them of a Biden press conference where he would curate the people that he wanted to talk to. So, of course, he took ITV, he took The Sun, The Sky, Starmer did. And he also bizarrely spoke to someone from The Economist, which seemed a little odd. And then it was Donald Trump's turn, as you say. And I was thrilled. I was delighted when he came to GB News first, because I think our viewers and our listeners are very much, we're very interested in what Donald Trump has to say. Everything that happens here in Washington has an impact over in the UK. And I think our channel take a different view of things. We look at the world slightly differently than maybe Sky and ITV and Channel 4 do. So, yeah, I was absolutely delighted, Martin. It's brilliant. We've got a really important job to do here. So it was another fantastic step on this journey.
Yeah, and it really did feel like special, even to those of us here. Like, I was covering it live on my show. When he chose you, I was so chuffed for you. I was so chuffed for the channel. And I think, actually, that you are truly holding power to your account. I want to ask you some more intimate stuff now. Particularly, we all saw that Donald Trump couldn't contain his love for the royal family. Clearly adores the royals. You were there. Tell us more.
He loves the UK. Every time you ask him a question about this country, he just wants to express how much he loves it. And he talks about the fact, he always says, doesn't he, my mother was born there, you know. It's so important to him. He's a true Anglophile. He has nothing in common with Sir Keir Starmer and this Labour Party politically. There is no reason why that alliance should produce anything of benefit to the British people, especially with Donald Trump running his America First policies. But he does it because he genuinely, and he said yesterday on the plane coming back, he said, you're a small country, but I want you to do well. I want success in the UK. And yesterday, obviously, they signed this business deal, this tech agreement. It's apparently worth billions to the UK. But I was talking to the Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, yesterday, just before the press conference, and he was saying the problem with the UK is we have too much regulation. He said it's not attractive to business because you put so many hurdles in the way. He said, you know, you've just got to dial all that down. What he's saying is smaller government. He said, just be more like us. It's working. So that's what we need to do here in the States, GB News. We need to show the British public what is going well here. And like you say, hold Starmer to account, hold, truth to power, because it doesn't feel in the UK that things are going particularly well for most people. You know, we've got pubs and hospitality and restaurants closing, but you've got them, sat at the state dinner next to BlackRock and Google and, investments from Nvidia. It all sounds wonderful, bigger picture stuff. Does nothing if you're running a decorators in Reading. And so that's where we have to get the balance right with this political landscape that we're looking at for the next few years up to the next election, I think. Hello, I'm Bev Turner. Now, it can feel like the money in our bank accounts at the moment does not keep up with the cost of living. And maybe there's a solution. I'm here today with the CEO of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. Cameron, what is TallyMoney?
Well, Bev, with TallyMoney, you get a current account and a debit card, but instead of pounds, you use milligrams of gold as your everyday money.
So why gold?
Gold traditionally is a great store of value. It has, on average, gone up at over 11% per annum for the last 25 years against the pound. It's tripled in value in the last decade. And in the last 2 years alone, it's increased by 50% against the pound. Banks' savings products just can't compete with that level of growth.
But this isn't just about gold. This is about a currency that you guys have created at TallyMoney. Explain it to me as though I'm an idiot.
So, look, people need to be able to hold their earnings and build their savings in a money that retains its value and remains in their legal control and remains theirs to access, away from government control.
Great. You had me at not exposed to government control.
You should feel safe and happy with your money. You should have peace of mind. The more money you see in your bank balance, and that's the type of thing we're trying to deliver, and give people choice in the type of money they get to use every day.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Cameron. Thank you.
I wonder, Bev Turner, can I ask you, we saw frankly embarrassing scenes on the streets of London. There are a couple of thousand goons going around doing an anti-Trump protest. I was live from Windsor. There were less people protesting against Trump there than there were GB News fans queuing to buy us beers. What I wanted to ask you was, does any of that get through to Donald Trump that there are protests, and does he even care?
No, didn't cut through at all yesterday or the day before. We had these two very specific events. Windsor Castle, hosted by King Charles. They laid out the red carpet like we have never seen in this country for anybody before. It was just amazing. Trump loved it. And he loves the King. And in fact, on the plane coming back last night, when I said to him, what was your highlight for you of the last couple of days? And he thought about it and he said, King Charles. He said, you have a wonderful king. And in fact, I don't know whether you remember, after the Beating Retreat performance, they went and spoke to the crowds just in front of the castle. And there was a young girl there. She was about 13, long blonde hair. I think her father was in the performance. And I grabbed her afterwards and I said, what did President Trump say to you? And she said, he said, you have a lovely king. And I just thought that's what Donald Trump loves about the UK. He really genuinely just wants us to do well as a country. So it's emotional for him. He's a man that thinks with facts and business and success and winning, isn't he? He's competitive, wants to win. But when it comes to Great Britain, we have this phenomenal relationship with him. Talking about the relationship with the country, though, the other thing you might be interested in, Martin, is so many people are saying, how come Nigel Farage wasn't at that dinner? Why wasn't he invited? Wasn't he part of this? And why couldn't Donald Trump get him in the room? I know from extremely good source around this conversation that the president was actually a little confused as to why Nigel Farage wasn't there. He didn't really understand. He didn't understand why. Well, you lead a political party that has seats in the House of Commons, and Liberal Democrats and the Conservatives. He didn't understand. And I think that's because for him, Nigel isn't this sort of anti-establishment hate figure that so many people in the politics in the UK see him as. But actually, Donald Trump said, it's not my place to ask. Like, he is so polite about that sort of thing, contrary to what the opinion might be of him being a bit of a sort of braggart, is he would never have the lack of manners to go to the King or to go to Keir Starmer and say, can you invite Nigel Farage, please, to our event? He would never do that. He's much more dignified than that. But that relationship, obviously, Farage and Trump, is interesting, and we'll see where that goes over the next 3 years as well.
OK, Bev Turner, you certainly have caught the president's eye. Perhaps you're the new second lady, so to speak, metaphorically, of course. Bev Turner, you've got a wonderful show starting on Monday night, live and direct from DC. Tell us all about it.
That's right, we have. Ben, Leo and I have been out here for nearly 3 weeks now, but we've had a huge amount to do. Obviously, not only are we kind of setting up domestically here for a little while at least. We are also setting up, we're in the studio here. We have so much work to do. We're getting all the technical stuff right for GB News viewers. It's really important we get this right. We're in the White House. We've got our accreditation now, so we can be in and out of there every week as well. We're going to be bringing you all the major stories from here, which we think our GB News viewers will be interested in, and we're going to be handling all of, primarily, the British stories that you're all talking about all day, and we're going to look at them through an American lens. We've got some fantastic contributors. We've got Ben Leo this weekend going out to cover Charlie Kirk's funeral in Phoenix on Saturday and Sunday. He's doing some filming as well from the border. I'll be in the studio on Monday night with you, and it will be, you know, GB News. I can't wait. Do you know who I've missed, Martin? Obviously, I've missed you, but I've really missed our viewers and our listeners.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get back on the Your Say and have a natter with everybody about how it's been. So we've got a massive responsibility. We've got to get it right. Obviously, the Republican Party know that we're in town. They've been incredibly helpful to us. It's unusual for a British news establishment to look across the pond and say, we have things to learn and we have to run at it and we have to bring that to our viewers. This is the next evolution of this channel, isn't it? So, I'm thrilled, I'm honoured, I'm privileged. It's wonderful, but I do miss you all, obviously.
Well, Bev Turner, I can tell you this, the viewers were telling me on Wednesday at Windsor they truly miss you, but from us here at the channel, from the viewers as well, thank you for what you're doing, being that bridge between Trump and the United Kingdom. Thank you for doing God's work. Bev Turner, absolute legend, and very best of luck with your show. Thank you, Bev Turner. Wonderful stuff.